Welcome back to the Charismatic Voice. Jon Anderson is releasing a new album soon, and I get to interview him over tea before that drops. Not only did he help to establish the legendary sound of Yes, and he's continued his career far beyond, and he is still performing at age 80. I have so many questions. But before we get to that, I'm going to check out his most recent release on YouTube of a classic song that I've yet to hear. Let's get to it. That's sweet.
Take the straight and stronger course to the corner of your life. Make the white queen run so fast. She hasn't got time to make you wild.
Good.
'Cause it's time and time with your time and his news is captured for the queen to use. Move me on to any black square. Use me anytime you want. Just remember that the goal is for us all to capture all we want. And don't surround yourself with your
This is such a sweet song. Hey, it just is so touching, and it feels like it has so much good spirit and encouragement. I really like this. This is beautiful. If you haven't ever seen this before, especially if you're watching this during our premiere, there's a good reason. Uh, it doesn't actually release publicly until the day after this video will be published. So I hope that you will take advantage of that and go wait for their premiere and be there to listen to it straight through and then listen to it again and again and again on their channel. This is going to be from their upcoming album, which releases, I think, in March of 2025. That's the due date anyhow. And it's featuring Jon Anderson singing a bunch of Yes classics live. And I'm sorry, not just live, but live at age 80. I don't think I can properly convey how impressive that is. I'm going to attempt to in this video. But I really, y'all, it's amazing the vocal quality that he has now and has been able to maintain. I'll talk a lot about what happens anatomically as we age in our voice. But this is my first time hearing this song, so I'm also just going to really enjoy it. So let's go back to the beginning. I really just love this like folky intro.
Take the straight and stronger course to the corner of your life. Make the white queen run so fast. She hasn't got time to make you wild.
It's just so sweet. I'm sorry. It's really, really sweet. A couple immediate things that I want to mention. I've always been super impressed by this inner smile that he has. And it's essentially, it's one of those things that a lot of classical singers aim for. And when I hear it in a singer in a different genre, I always get super excited. I think it is a good general thing for all singers to aim for. Although lots of singers make a career by breaking rules. The inner smile is this idea that there's lift, and it's going to feel like a lot of lift back by the soft palate. Do you want to find out where your soft palate is? If you're not sure, hopefully your hands are clean. You're going to take a finger, you're going to stick it up on the top of the roof of your mouth, and you're going to go back until you hit something squishy. You might gag, That's okay. It's probably a good thing that you have a gag reflex that's supposed to help you not die. But anyhow, finger top, 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 top. When you get to squishy, that's your soft palate. Velum. And it can lower and raise. It's actually sort of a really fascinating little bit of anatomy in your mouth. And that inner smile that we describe as often feeling like almost like there's width between the back molars and there's a certain lift in the soft palate. It can create this sound essentially of a smile in the voice. We hear people smile when they're speaking or singing, and that's one of the main spots that we'll hear that smile in. That soft palate also is controlling how much of the sound is exiting through your nose or through your mouth. It's one of the key things that's going to change nasality in a tone. So it can be very, very interesting. If it's dropped, more sound is going through your nose. If it's lifted, more sound coming through your mouth. But with Jon Anderson here, it tends to be very lifted. And it just sounds like he's always got this inner smile, like an inner goodwill.
Take the straight and stronger course to the corner of your life. Make the white queen run so fast. She hasn't got time to make you wild.
One of the things that I really like about that line is that we get a little bit of power right away. Power is one of the things that tends to dissipate as we grow older. And I like that there's also a lot of steadiness in the tone. Uh, I'm actually really surprised at how much steadiness continues to be here. And uh, there's just a feeling of soaring. It's lovely.
Queen runs so fast. She hasn't got time to make you wild.
Right. It's really heartfelt.
'Cause it's time, it's time, and time.
Fantastic harmony.
And his news is captured for the queen to use. Move me
Such good
on
pure
to
tone.
any black square. Use me anytime you want. Just remember that the goal is for us all to capture all we want. Yeah, yeah. And don't surround yourself with yourself.
That line is so excellent. Don't surround yourself with yourself. It's like, it's just one of the huge problems that we have in society these days is creating echo chambers. And it's really interesting to me that despite having social media and the internet where we connect with so many different people, we still tend to silo and just find our people and not listen to everyone. Don't surround yourself with yourself. It's like that's just a really good piece of advice because I think it can be important to be strong in yourself and to develop a certain groundedness and confidence. On the other hand, it shouldn't be blind. It shouldn't, you should, I feel like you always need to listen to others. So one of the reasons that this channel is successful, it's because I didn't just say, oh, I'm going to listen to the kind of music that only I want to listen to. I said, no, 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 no. I want you all to tell me what music I should explore next, having never explored metal or rock music. And if it wasn't for me listening to you, I would never have discovered Yes. Would have never been introduced to some of these, well, maybe in years and years and years. But at this point in time, I would not know who Yes was. I would not know who Jon Anderson is. I'm so grateful to all of you and for the ability that the internet has given us to listen to people that we might not normally interact with in life. So I love this line. Don't surround yourself with yourself. It's so amazing how other people can enrich your life with so many amazing, amazing people in the world. Okay. there were some other things I wanted to go back to and discuss here.
Time and time with your
That's one of
time
them.
is news.
I love the thickness of the harmonies. And I also love the way that they're like just going between a couple notes. It's like, it's almost like a certain wavering there, but it's also blocked solid.
Cause it's time and time with your time and his news is captured.
And I love that expression of
The
captured,
queen to use.
right? The way that they captured and held that note out, it really sounded like they had captured something. Beautiful setting of lyrics.
Time and his news is captured. For the queen to use. Move me on to any black square. Use me anytime you want.
That's a cool bass line too.
Just remember that the goal is for us all to capture what we want. Yeah, yeah. And don't surround yourself with yourself. Move on back to squares. Send an instant comment to me. Initially, with love and care for yourself. 'Cause it's time and time with your time and his news is captured. For the queen to use.
Gosh, I think there's really something to be said here for the amount of wisdom and life that a person can go through. I definitely feel like Jon Anderson has gone through, and to have that then be the message underneath the song, especially a song. Gosh, how long they wrote this song a very long time ago, right? At, and helped design the sound of progressive rock. Uh, it's amazing to me to then hear a voice that has gone through so much time, then communicate these lyrics from a different spot. It's like when Johnny Cash sang "Hurt," right? It like just took on a whole new meaning. I know, yeah, a different artist wrote, Nine Inch Nails wrote "Hurt," then Johnny Cash did a cover of it. But for me, the cover was, it just had so much impact. I was amazed, and it was because it had that wisdom and a certain kindness in it. It was just brilliant. I feel so much kindness and true, gosh, like there, it almost feels like there's a generosity here of just really truly wanting something better for people. Ah, I go back a little bit. I love the way that the words are said as well. It because it starts to almost feel like it's going outside of any sort of normal time signature boundaries. And that goes along with "'cause it's time, and time with your time." And it's playing off of this idea of time in the songwriting that's really cool.
Send an instant comment to me. Initially, with love and care for yourself. 'Cause it's time and time with your time and his news is captured. For the queen to use.
Oh, that was nicely synced.
And don't surround yourself with yourself. Move on back to squares. Send an instant comment to me. Initially, with love and care for yourself.
Talk about steadiness and power. Those are some really, really great belted high notes there. I want to come back to this did it? Did it moment? That was so impressively synced by everybody here. The band geeks that are accompanying John. That was back further. I don't know. I might have not gone back far enough. Sorry. There we go. Not only was this super well synced with every single person there, I really like dip as a syllable for syncing as well, because the p dip, 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 most people aren't going to explode the p of that. It's not a T or an S that's going to be really difficult to everybody to end it at the same time. But dip, dip, really, really good syllable choice. I do think that everybody also was just like nicely aligned. They also synced up the tone quality really nice. Everybody here sounds like they're matching that inner smile from Jon Anderson. One more time. Our keyboardist especially has that going on. It's cool how we blend them together now.
Move on back to squares. Send that instant karma to me. Give a shilling with love and care.
Solid.
Cause it's time in time with your time, and this news is captured.
Nice. I was waiting for there to be some sort of bass drop. Right. This whole time we've been essentially sitting in a higher frequency. Every now and then we'll get like the boom. And it looked like we had like a more cushy mallet that was being used for that. But it wasn't, it didn't have a bass in there. It didn't have as heavy of a beat or a drive, and instead we had a lot of essentially like high sprinkles going on, and a sort of, it felt like almost like musical swirls that were happening. All of that was leading up to this moment where we start to, gosh, I think that I've seen some things about this. Sometimes it's just said called I've seen all the good people, or I've seen all good people, excuse me. Sometimes though I've seen your move, and then I've seen all good people split up, like it's a split in the title here. So it makes me wonder, was this released as one song before, or was this released as two separate ones? Not sure, but I think our transition is gonna go possibly into the next song. Let's see. Oh, I really like the way they carried the did-ups there. Nice. That's the next song, right? Right? I loved the epic feel that this built into here. It really did feel like it was almost slowing time down at moments and capturing a moment where a person can make a choice. Just all the feels. I really love the songwriting here. And I think that the extra instruments, it sounded like we almost got an organ in there at one point. Maybe organ and the keys were happening. I liked the way we thickened up the entire sound of the instruments behind. And then we started getting more and more layers of the voice. It was just an incredible, epic build. Let's get a little bit more of that and then catch the transition. Right. This almost feels like a AAA film trailer here.
Give peace a chance, 'cause it's time in time with your time and his news is
Oh.
seen all good people turn their heads each day, so satisfied I'm on my way. Seen all good people turn their heads each day, so satisfied I'm on my way.
This rhythm's actually a little bit complicated. It's entirely syncopated. Ba 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 ba. So all of these words are syncopated. They're not falling on the main beat. And a lot of times when you have that kind of rhythm, it's very tempting to rush. So you have to like really sink into it. I think that they've done a good job sinking into it here. But you can also see I think he's very aware that can be a trend and is engaging with the clapping there and basically like hang it back, y'all. It's tricky, very, very tricky. I also just like how funky our bass line is here. We've got some fun, funky keyboard sounds as well. It definitely feels like the next chapter, and it's one of the things I like about progressive music is the way they're always just, it feels like we go on such a journey.
Seen all good people turn their heads each day, so satisfied I'm on my way.
Wow.
Seen all good people turn their heads each day, so satisfied I'm on my way. Seen all good people turn their heads each day, so satisfied I'm on my way.
One of the things that I particularly appreciate that I'm hearing is the way that we filled out the harmonies in this song. I don't know what was done in the original version, but we definitely have Jon Anderson often taking some of the higher ones. One of the trends that happens with male voices as we get older, a lot of times they do start to go up a little bit in pitch, and sometimes you'll lose some of that like beefiness in the bottom. And his voice already sat really high. So I think it's important when you're supporting him in this kind of structure, where you have a great band, to bring some voices in underneath, because he's got some really great, powerful high tones. And I think that we want to continue to feature that. I mean, especially because man is 80 and still singing this. Like, give him that support there, because those high tones, they're good. Let's keep those in focus. And then it sounds like in a lot of the harmonies, we've got a couple other people on the bottom helping round things out. That might have been the original in and how they did this with Yes as well. But I think that it really plays to the strengths of his voice now. It's been well designed.
People turn their heads each day, so satisfied I'm on my way.
Though he isn't even on the top one. I like it. Kind of loose a little bit.
Seen all good people turn their heads each day, so satisfied I'm on my way.
Those don't sound good up there. It's good. That was a cool instrumental interlude. I really felt like it got super fun, and there was lots of handoffs happening. I like the way that different instruments would help fill in at different times. Let's go back and catch it again. Back a little further.
People turn their heads each day so satisfied. I'm on my way.
It basically took a motif and then just took it a little higher, and then it was like, can I dare another one? Just a little bit higher there. Oh.
I like the fill in the drums.
So fun. That last section, one of my favorite things is actually the rising bass line. It was like bringing more and more excitement as we went on. That's cool. I like the hits. And unexpectedly brings out a lot of instruments there. It's just a very exciting instrumental bit. Oh, that's cool.
All good people turn their heads each day so satisfied. I'm on my way. I see all good
I just got a shout out to the keys here too. They've got, it almost feels like there's some rock and gospel piano that's mixed in here. It's just, the keys are having a lot of fun.
I see all good people turn their heads each day so satisfied.
I'm just gonna do glissandos.
I see all good people turn their heads each day so satisfied. I'm on my way.
Oh,
Seen all good people turn their heads each day so satisfied. I'm on my way.
so a couple more things to mention about voices and aging, and really why I want to talk to Jon so much about how he's done this so successfully. One of the main things that happens when we age is stuff just stiffens. We all know that. We're like, yeah, I'm much stiffer than when I was as a kid, right? Super liberal. Vocal folds stiffen as well. Makes it more difficult to vibrate. Things tend to also get a little bit more dry. And that means that there's the outer mucosal edge of the vocal fold. The vocal folds are very heavily stratified. They have lots of layers, and that outermost edge is actually mucus. And have you ever, the difference between sorry, it's gonna get gross. So there's when you blow your nose, you're like, oh, it's all nice fluidy mucus, or nice viscous. And then there's the chunky dry mucus, right? You don't want the chunky dry mucus on the side of your vocal folds, because then it doesn't nicely come together and create a beautiful vibratory pattern. Instead, it's kind of rough and right. We don't want chunky mucus, dry mucus on the edges of our vocal folds. It really interrupts the vibration patterns. When you add things also just muscle, you're going to lose muscle mass as well. There's lots of things that you lose access to. One of the main qualities I would say that we see disappear is endurance. And I am really impressed by how we are hearing just excellent endurance at this point. He doesn't seem to be fading at all. And the fact that he's still recording, I'm sorry, not just albums at 80. No. Live albums. That is insane to me. I've been around I've been around some of the most incredible opera singers. I've been on stage with Placido Domingo in his 80s, and he still sounds really good. And he's got some endurance left too. And that is like God tier level. But I would expect an opera singer to have more endurance and be able to sustain that a little bit more. But even his endurance was really, really definitely starting to go. Um, I think that when we hear Jon Anderson here, and you hear that he's doing live albums and still touring, that's a different beast. That is so tough. I feel like floored, really impressed. I'm really curious what he's done to maintain that. I think it's important to maintain because getting it back is just really, really even tougher. So I'll be really curious. I'll talk to him a lot about what he does to keep things going, and what he does to really take care of himself at this point, because this song's been going for a long time. They have a lot of progressive music that's going to be longer, and it's also pounding in syncopated rhythms, staying in this one particular range. It's most people would already feel a little bit tired here, and he's still going.
He's even emphasizing, giving extra accents.
He's like not just like winging it, he's accenting. He's giving the ba da ba 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 ba. Dude. Wow.
So satisfied, I'm on my way. I've seen all good people turn their heads each day. So satisfied, I'm on my way.
I'm loving the like little interjections by an instrument here and there. It's almost like the instrument is commenting on what's been said. Right?
I'm on my way. I've seen all good people turn their heads each day. So satisfied, I'm on my way. I've seen all good people.
They're continuing with the syncopated rhythm the whole time. I had no idea this was going to continue the whole time here. And it doesn't make it any easier to not rush. Okay? Usually, the more the syncopated rhythm continues, especially this kind of like really off-kilter rhythm, the more it continues, often the greater the temptation to rush will become. So just want to point out, it didn't get easier, it got harder.
People turn their heads each day, so satisfied, I'm on my way. I've seen all good people turn their heads each day, so satisfied, I'm on my way. I've seen all good people turn their heads each day, so
It's a nice thick bass sound.
I'm on my way.
Let's go. Ooh. Nicely done. Heck yeah. Keep in mind that this official live video will premiere tomorrow, January 29th on their channel, so go there and support the band. And additionally, we're about to go into a tea time interview with Jon himself. I plan to ask him so many questions. I'm really looking forward to that conversation. So I hope you'll join me at the tea time interview. I'm going to put up some links over here to help get you where you should go. May you fall more in love with music every day.